Madrina resumes this weekend. First up at Eagle Farm in the listed Darrello Stakes over 1,000 metres. I thought she's come back in excellent order. Her two trials have certainly been very sharp and very impressive. So she's going up there in good shape. She's nice and fit. She's forward. She's shown good improvement off her last campaign. I think she's strengthened up nicely. So she's certainly going to give it a good shake. I think she'll run very well. It's a lovely race for Youth Spirit, Eagle Farm on the weekend. Benchmark 90 over the 1,800 metres for him to race first up. I thought his trials have been very good. He's come back a more seasoned horse this time around. Looks to be well placed here. I do think there's some nice improvement for him off the back of this run, but I think it's a nice setup. I think he's come back in really good shape this campaign. New Endeavour will be the stable's representative in the Hawkesbury Gold Cup over the mile. He's had a while between runs, but I thought it was a nice sharp trial from him in between. Going back to his form in Europe, he certainly looked to show plenty of class. And I think he's just really starting to find his feet now in Australia. So it looks to be a nice setup for him. I think he'll run very well. I think he's a great chance. Butch Cassidy was very brave for his last start. He's such an honest horse. He just had to carry a fair bit of weight against his rivals there at last start over the carnival. Had to do a bit of work from the wide draw to cross. So for him to take up the running and still be there fighting in the finish, I thought was a very good performance. If he can hold that form, he's much better weighted here. So it looks to be an excellent race for him in the Hawkesbury Guineas. The track conditions on the day will just be the query. As long as it doesn't get too heavy, he's going to be an excellent chance. Rise of the Masses is resuming in what looks to be a nice race for him. He's racing over the 1,400 metres first up, but I think he's had the right grounding and the right fitness to do so. He looks really well. I think he's improved from what we've seen last campaign. I can't fault his work, so he's going to be nice and forward for today's first up run. I feel we've got Kaboo back in really good shape, so very much looking forward to seeing him back at the track racing first up here. He is starting over the 1,400 metres, which we didn't quite get to see him out to that trip in previous preparations. I think he's going to improve as he can get over further, but I think it's a lovely first up target for him. Patakari will take his place at Newcastle this weekend. Even though it's a more difficult race than a few of the options that he had down for, looks to be the track where he's going to get the best conditions with Nour and Goulburn likely to be quite heavy over the weekend. He was excellent first up, just stuck on very well. May have just raced a little bit flat there second up off the back of that run, but I do think he can bounce back here for us. Justice Serves racing third up in the maiden plate over 1,800 metres, and it's the distance that's going to be suitable for him. Just been racing a bit short of his best, just lacked that turn of foot previously, but I think getting up to this trip, he's trained on nicely from those two runs. He seems a lot more switched on, nice and forward. Looking forward to a real positive performance from him.